Rain chances are coming our way as well, and we could use it. We've gone kind of dry over the last couple weeks, but the problem is it lines up with our weekend. But the good news on top of that is the fact that we're not going to have a washout any day. In fact, there's just storm chances this weekend. I think most hours are going to end up being dry. I'll show you here in a second. We're at 64. We've got a beautiful Friday out ahead of us. 50s out east and down towards the south. We've had a couple upper 50s showing up down in our southern counties. Very comfortable start to the day. As high pressure's in charge right now, we've got a sinking effect to the atmosphere, helps us to cool down as well. And the dew points are much lower. Dew points sitting in the 50s to near 60, so that air is very comfortable versus the humidity we had about 24 hours ago. But the humidity's not done. We've got a lot of mugginess down towards our south, and that will start to creep back in here as you'd expect as we go throughout the day. Dew points coming up to kind of humid by noon, and then getting a little uncomfortable this afternoon and the evening. But overall, nothing tropical, so there's that. We've got clear skies right now. There are some high clouds out towards our west. A lot of action in northern plains. That is where all the storms are going to be over the next day or so, up in the northern plains. And you see there are different waves of this. That will continue throughout the weekend. And these waves of storms with a lot of dry hours in between, the waves are going to start to sink south through the Great Lakes, and that puts us into play, especially as we get into later in the day, Saturday and Sunday. So I'll show you what I mean. This is obviously a model, what it thinks is going to happen, but it's got big storms that develop tonight. Those storms would trail in our direction on Saturday, whereas most of the day would be dry, but we could inherit some leftovers off of what develops up in Wisconsin later tonight and tomorrow. So we'll be keeping an eye on the radar later in the day, Saturday, and then Sunday, that train tracks, so to speak, or where those storms develop will be right over northeast Ohio. Doesn't mean we're going to have storms all day, but storm chances will be there if one of these waves clips the area on Sunday as well. So Morgan Wallen concert looking good tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll keep an eye on the radar. But overall, there are going to be so many people downtown for that. If you don't know Morgan Wallen, he's a big country music artist, and so a lot bigger than some of the bands that have been in recently. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast looking good today. Nice and summer-like, mid to upper 80s in spots. Tonight we're back down to the 60s. And then you see tomorrow some of those late-day storm chances on our model coming in here later in the day. Guards taking on the Braves, new series, 80s. Should be a beautiful night at the ballpark tonight. And in terms of the series this weekend, getting a little muggy for the Saturday and Sunday games as that humidity is going to ramp up this weekend. And so too do the storm chances with the PM storm chance Saturday and some scattered storms with dry hours in between on Sunday. Tropical storm Erin out in the Atlantic, expected to become a hurricane later today. This is going to be a big one. Good news, this is going to stay away from land, but expected to be a Cat 1, 2, then a 3, and perhaps even a 4 as it stays north of Hispaniola. It's expected to make the curve and not impact areas of coastal New England and the mid-Atlantic. Our rain chances ramp up, as I mentioned, late Saturday into Sunday. They'll just be scattered at that, and you can see long-ranger forecast showing those storms in waves right over northeast Ohio all the way through Wednesday of next week. Union Home Mortgage 10-day forecast cooling down behind that front Wednesday into Thursday. Should be a very comfortable mid to late week next week. Danita?
All right, thank you, Matt.